In the last part, we were able to cover some basic routing directly. So those routes are actually commented here, but we are going to find a way to list out this route. But there is something I want to show you guys I forgot, that is on the config folder. So this folder contains some configurations. So let me just open this app. So in this app.php, you can see we have the app name. So this app name is coming from the environment variables. So the environment variable can be found on the document root over here. So in this .env, you can actually set the name of your application. So let's just change this to start Laravel. Back in that app.php. So what this actually means is that if this does not exist, it should automatically use this Laravel. So, but we have said that and we are not going to see that again. But that's kind of really cool. And it also contains some MySQL settings. You can actually make use of any SQL you want to use, like the Postgres, the SQLite. But right today on this video, we are using MySQL. So if you have other database you want to use, Laravel supports some. You can also check the official docs to know the support, then you can use them. Let's go ahead and go over to controllers. So before we go over to controllers, what we are actually going to do is to list some routes. I can just say PHP Artisan routes list. And whenever we list routes, it's going to come to this web.php file to check our routes. If you can see here, we have the hello route, the search with the search params, the dynamic route, then we have the welcome route. And that's exactly what you see here. The normal homepage route, which is this slash. We also have the API for making API requests that contains the middleware. But these three main routes over here can accept the get and head type of request. And that's exactly what you can see. So whenever we add a new route, I'm just going to add a new route. Let me just get /Samuel. So in this Samuel, I'm just going to return Samuel. And we're going to close that. And let's go ahead and run that command once more. Route list. You can see Samuel has been added to this route list. So it's kind of more awkward, or it's kind of somehow whenever we handle routes on a single file, which is kind of an old method of doing things. And for that reason, I'm going to clear everything here up till this place. I'm just going to comment that out. And we are going to now be working with the Artisan commands. So I think when we run PHP Artisan help, it's going to think the help should, okay, we want to display command for you. Okay, I want to list all the Artisan commands, so we can just run PHP Artisan list. Yes, so this kind of a list of all the commands contained in the Artisan. So this kind of work is the repo, and you can actually work with a lot of things over here. Like you can this kind of make Laravel cool, and the Laravel is not restricted. It's not just like PHP is obsolete. Laravel is still cool to work with. You can over here, you can roll up, you can roll down, you can work with Tinker, you can run a test, you can serve application. I think we did this when we started off. You can migrate, that's push your columns into your database. You can list anything, list your commands. There are a lot of things over here. You can wipe your database, and you can make controller, you can make models. So let's just go ahead and make a controller. I'm just going to run this command over here. So I'm just going to copy that. There are still a lot of things that we are going to be using. So let me just go ahead and paste that down. So I'm just going to say PHP. Let me zoom this in a little bit. PHP Artisan make controller. I'm just going to make a controller called the pages controller. And that will automatically create a controller file for us. Whenever we come over to the app, HTTP controllers, over here you can see the pages controller has been created for us. And this pages controller, the name of our function is the name of our routes. Now let me go ahead and use routes, get homepage. I want to make use of the pages controller. So you specify the name of the method that you are going to be using for this homepage route. So I'm just going to come over here and I'm going to create a public function called index. I'm just going to return pages homepage found, and I'm going to save that. So clear everything here and let's visit our URL, and you can see automatically it takes the get request of that home page and maps that to that index, and that index returns anything that we want. So let me just go ahead and add some pages. I'm just going to add public function about, so return about page, public function, let me just return services, return services page. And whenever I come over here, I can now use /get /about, and we have to use the pages controller. Then we can use about. Also, we have for the services, I can also use the pages. Sorry guys for that. Controller at services. So let's save this and list our route to see actually if this works. So it's called PHP Artisan route list. And over here you can see we have the about, we have the services, and we have the home page. I think we still have the user over there. So I'm just going to check. Okay, I think that's coming from our API. So let me kind of check it. Yeah, that's coming from our API. But you can see all the other route listed, and I can just visit /about /services, and it's going to display the services page for us. So that's how we can use this controller to actually work with. So this I agree to, but what if you want to create a controller for a single handling of a route? There is what you call the invoke flag. So whenever we are creating a controller, we can add an invoke flag to actually create a simple or a single route controller for us. So let's just go and add invocable. So whenever I hit enter and go over to our controllers, and you can see here we can actually use this to, let me just create the route quickly so that you can understand. You can actually say single invocable routes. So sorry guys, my neck was kind of paining me. I needed to take a break. So we just have to create a get route, and this get route can get the user ID. And over here we can just use the show profile. So we don't even need to specify the index. Automatically it's going to use this single thing over here. So we can just get the ID back. So over here in the invoke, we are not making a request. We can just grab that single ID and we can just return that ID. So I think I close this here, which is wrong. I'm going to save that. I'm back here. Let's go ahead and list our routes again. So you can see we have user/ID, and let's go ahead and visit that dynamic route user/1. And because of its invocable nature, we are able to make use of it directly without delay. So that's exactly what you see here, and that's how you can create an invocable route. So creating more routes like this is kind of cool, but what if you want to create a resource route? A resource route is like a route that is going to automatically generate every other pages for you. I mean the necessary pages that you want to, that is good for a CRUD functional application. So let's just go ahead and create that resource route. So I'm just going to use PHP Artisan. I'm going to make a controller, and I'm going to give this a nodes controller. I'm going to give it a plural name, and here we can just add the resource flag. It's going to create the ones that are necessary. So resource is not spelled correctly. I think I don't know how to spell again. Okay, that created it. And let's go back to our controllers, and you can see the node controller, and when we click on it, automatically it's going to generate some link for us, which is also cool and which is very good. And you can see over here we have something like a request. So this, like when you're making a post request, you can use these routes to store those values. Then you can grab those values from the request and push them to your through your model to your database. Of course, we are coming to model shortly. So, but you have seen how to create a resource route, and let's go ahead and use that route. So I'm just going to say resource route, and this resource route is going to be route.get anything called nodes to use the nodes controller. I'm not even going to specify the method or the type of URL that we are going to use. Automatically it's going to map everything into this nodes controller. So let's go ahead and run that route. Sorry guys, you're not supposed to see that. I just kind of distracted you guys, I'm sorry. But let's go ahead and use PHP Artisan routes list. We kind of have an issue, I think, and that's coming from here. You're not supposed to get that. I don't know. Let me just comment this out. It worked perfectly when we tried it out, but let's go ahead and do that again. Invalid route action. Nodes controller. Nodes controller is not invocable. So sorry guys, this mistake was from me. This is not just a get route, this is a resource route. So let's go ahead and change this to resource. So sorry for that little distraction, and let's go ahead and visit that, and automatically it maps that to the index. Let's go over to the nodes route. Okay, that was why we got that invocable nature. Okay, I really understand. So let's go ahead and list our routes. And you can see over here we have the nodes routes generated for us automatically. We have the nodes. We can make a post request, we can make a get. Over here we can make a put or patch request, we can make a delete request, and we can also make an edit request over here. So you can see the name of the routes over here. So that kind of looks cool with Laravel, and that's exactly what you see over here. A resource route automatically does all these things for us. You can also add your own custom route, but these are already enough if you are very good at creating web application, which we are actually in, and we are still going to build a note application so that we can actually see how to use all these routes. I'm just going to return notes. I'm going to, in the create over here, I think for the create you are making, okay, we can make a get request to create. So more like containing your form for submission of any data. So we have to return able to create. The store, I think, accepts, for the store accepts a post request. So we are going to be making use of this when we are creating the notes app. The show accepts, let's return the ID, sorry, the notes ID, and let's return edit ID. And over here you can update, that's a post request, because we have the, okay, the put and the patch request for updating, and the destroy is we can just return delete But over here, also making a delete request actually. And let's save that and let's refresh. You can see we get the notes. The next one is we can be able to create /notes/create. Okay, I think this is double. Okay, we are able to create. Then we are able to store, which we are not actually making a post request right away. We can also be able to grab our note from our database. So I can say note 1 and automatically it returns this ID for us. We can be able to edit as well. We can edit our notes. We can say /1/edit and it brings out the edit for us. We can update with a put or patch request. We can also delete notes. So the way we can delete the notes is to visit okay, we can make a delete request. We cannot be able to make a get request on the delete request. So actually this is it for how you can handle a resource route, and you can see it kind of make things more simpler than using single routes, especially if you want to do something for a specific kind of link or a specific kind of URL. You can just use this resource routes to actually handle those routes automatically. So whenever we list this, we get back only the nodes route, which kind of is very cool with Laravel. So this is it for the routings, and I suggest you guys hit the like button and also the subscribe button. And if this is your new time of visiting channel, don't forget to subscribe. So guys, thank you very much for watching this video and see you on the next part.